بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. In this series of videos we're going to be talking about how someone who just accepted Islam can maintain that sense of inner peace and deepen it. The first thing that I want to do though, before we go into the details about how to do that, is I want to look at some of the definitions that we currently use and some of the conceptions that we have. Some of them are wrong and some of them are correct. And it's important that we go through that first of all before visiting the topic of inner peace. Now, one of the things that I see sometimes is that sometimes people that come into Islam are treated like they know nothing, like they're not able to make their own mind or decision about something. And it's not just the society that treats them like that, they treat themselves like that. The metaphor that I'm going to use, and it's quite accurate in my opinion, is of going to a country where you don't know the language and you don't have a map, and so what do? Now it might feel daunting at first, but you have to remember, okay, you don't have the two skills of map or language, but you've got other skills. You can communicate through sign language, you've got money, you've got other skills, you know how to make decisions. And as someone who's accepted Islam, you have just proven to yourself first and foremost, and to every other Muslim, that you are capable of making the single most important decision in life, which is to submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to return to your Creator, to acknowledge that He created you and that He has governance and dominance, dominion over you. That's the most important decision. And so if you can make that decision, you should trust yourself to be able to make smaller, finer decisions that are not as big. When you become a Muslim, that's the biggest thing. Thereafter, you take small steps here or there, but becoming a Muslim is the biggest decision and the most complicated decision, and you've done that. So you have to trust yourself, and we have to trust that you know how to do that because you've proven it. Someone that's born into Islam does not prove that. They don't have the opportunity to prove that they can make that decision. They have other opportunities, but not that opportunity. Whereas you've had the opportunity and you've proven it to yourself and to us. So use your ability to make good decisions, to see right from wrong when you are presented with facts, when you're presented with data. Now, you came across Islam, you didn't know about it before. It was knowledge that you did not know about before you came to know it. And once you enter into Islam, you will be presented with knowledge that you did not know before. And you will use, or you are to use, exactly the same mind, the same IQ, the same processes that you were able with those processes to get to the best decision in life. So don't feel helpless, and don't let anyone else make you feel helpless as well. Feeling helpless is the opposite of inner peace. Feeling helpless is the opposite of inner peace. If you don't know up from down, right from left, how are you going to get inner peace? Inner peace, there's a really tangible aspect to it. You are a Muslim, maybe you've been a Muslim for a month, maybe just a week, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 years. Maybe you've been a Muslim since birth. It doesn't matter. Even as a graduate of Sharia, there is still knowledge that I'm still to acquire. There are things I don't know about. Even with people who have specialized in subtopics and subtopics within those subtopics and really specialized, they have to go to someone else, another specialist, to look into other topics. And so you will always find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وفوق كل ذي علم عليم. Above everyone with knowledge is someone with more knowledge. For every person with knowledge, there is someone with more knowledge. And in the chapter of Al-Kahf, the cave, which we read every Friday, Allah narrates to us or tells us a story of what happened with Prophet Moses, peace be upon him. He's given a sermon, a khutbah, and a man comes afterwards and asks him, who is the most knowledgeable man on earth? And Prophet Musa deducts that since he is a prophet and revelation is revealed to him, that he must be the most knowledgeable man. So he replies to the man saying, I am. Because of this, Allah makes him go on a journey, the strangest of journeys, to meet the most peculiar of men, just to teach him that for everyone with knowledge, there is someone with more knowledge. So actually it's a good thing that you realize, it's a good thing that you realize that you don't know everything. This is a prophetic attribute, to know that you do not know everything. You will come across people who will want to tell you what to do. Some of them will be well-intentioned and they know what they're talking about. Some of them will be well-intentioned but they don't know what they're talking about. And it's up to you to use the same mechanisms of your mind to make the decisions. This in the same way that you were able to make the biggest decision, which was to enter Islam. And remember how you did that. It wasn't just with your mind. You asked God to guide you. You asked Allah to guide you. You realized that this was something that was of vital importance, and you asked Allah to help you. And as a Muslim now, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide you to those people who can guide you. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide you to the decisions, to the knowledge, to the facts, and to be able to make you perceive them accurately. This is a path. You will change your mind. You'll be presented with data and you'll make a decision, and then the day after tomorrow or 2 years from now, you might change your mind. That's okay. So long as you're following a valid opinion, it's okay to change your mind. Even if you have two valid opinions that are completely and utterly mutually exclusive, it's either this or that, follow one of them, it's okay. And if you flip to the other later on because of new evidence, that's okay as well. That's okay. In fact, the scholars themselves do this. That's okay. That's a sign that you're progressing, that you're learning. I want to focus on something else as well. Sometimes when people accept Islam, they want to bury their past. Now, yes, we're not supposed to flaunt about sins that we committed previously. And yes, we are to be proud of becoming Muslims. But at the same time, that does not mean that we should change our names. And this might sound a little controversial, but I'm a strong believer that you should keep your name. And here's why. When you look at the Prophet, peace be upon him, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he was the first Muslim with this message, the final message from Allah through the Quran. He was the first Muslim. Now when he went to his wife Khadija, did she change her name to Muhammad or Muhammadah, just to make it female, if that was even possible? When he went to Abu Bakr, the first man, did he change his name? Did he become Muhammad? When the first child entered into Islam, Ali, did he change his name? When the first girl, Fatima, entered into Islam, did she change her name? It's not like that. Did Umar ibn Khattab change his name many years later? No. Whatever name you were given by your parents, keep that, unless it's intrinsically ugly. The meaning of it is intrinsically ugly. If your name is Paul, if your name is Matthew, that's not an ugly name. That's not an ugly name. It might have connotations of another religion, but the meaning of the name is not ugly. And with time, if enough people accept Islam who are called Matthew, the connotations of the name Matthew will change. And this is what we want. This is what we want. Part of having inner peace is being in harmony with the people around you. Being in harmony with the people around you. The sunnah of the Prophet, peace be upon him, is to wear what society was wearing within the conditions of Islam. So for men, for the clothes to be baggy, for the clothes not to be see-through, for their awrah to be covered. This isn't a fiqh lesson, so I'm not going to go into the details. For women, again, for them clothes to be baggy. You don't need to be wearing, a jalabiyah for the men. We're not in Saudi Arabia. You don't need to be wearing a shawal kameez. We're not in Pakistan. Okay, wear baggy clothes the way that you used to wear before, but make them baggy, and make sure that they are in accordance with Islam. The harmony that you achieve with society is really important for your inner peace. Yes, there are some things that society will not accept you. Your family might shun you because you became a Muslim. Okay, can't do anything about that. Now, that's a different issue. But don't go changing your name because it's a slap in the face to your parents. It's a slap in the face to your friends who have known you for 31 years, and then all of a sudden you were Paul and now you are Mustafa. It's really strange. It's weird. It's freaky. It's already hard enough for them to accept it. Don't go creating more obstacles. Inner peace is not about creating obstacles. Again, I'm just giving pointers and getting rid of some of the misconceptions before we go into the actual process of inner peace. I'm going to end with the following. Sometimes when people accept Islam, always this happens, society embraces them. 99% of the time, whenever someone finds out, oh look, someone just accepted Islam, they embrace them, they welcome them, they make them feel really, really at home. And the person who's just accepted Islam gets a very joyous reaction to that. being accepted, being loved, is very joyous. 2-3 weeks pass and they're, on seventh heaven, they're on top of the moon. And then, maybe 2 months pass and life catches up with the Muslim community, with the majority of them. They have to take care of their family, their kids, work, business, parents, extended family, etc. And then all of a sudden, bit by bit, the person who accepted Islam and thought life is always going to be like this, I'm never going to be without anyone, I'm going to have so much support, all of a sudden begins to feel like they're left out, and they begin to feel lonely. And this is when it's important to remember you are never alone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always with you. Always with you. You are never ever alone. There are prophets like Prophet Abraham, who for the majority of his life no one followed him, no one believed in him except for his wife and one man who became Prophet Lut thereafter. A majority of his life. Noah, all of earth did not believe in him except for the people that came onto the ark. But did he feel lonely? No, because he realized that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always there. You can communicate with Allah, you can make dua, you can supplicate to Him in any language, at any time. Always realize that you are never ever alone. I hope to see you in the next video, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.